Hi there, and welcome to Dumpster PC's first video how-to guide. For this guide, we're going to show you how to remove the fan on your video card. Here, we're going to start with an NVIDIA GeForce 9600 GT card that you can see in front of you. It has 512 meg of memory, PCI Express 2.0, and came out circa 2007-2008. So the card isn't worth a whole bunch of money now. It's also got a fan that refuses to start up unless it's given a bit of a kick, which, unless you remember, can mean your video card overheats and your system will get a blue screen of death and you won't have much fun. So we're going to replace this video card fan with an 80mm case fan. Here. To do that, we've first got to take off the video card fan on there at the moment. The heatsink that's attached is attached with two screws on the back. We're going to leave that in place and continue using it. So the actual fan is clipped onto the heatsink with two little clips on the top and one on the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're just going to unclip that gently. Top one. Bottom one. And then we should be able to lift the fan right off, revealing our heatsink. Now the fan is connected to a fan header here just to the top right of the heatsink, so we'll also have to remove that. And we'll set this aside. So here we've got what looks like a passive cooled video card, but we're going to add our 80mm case fan. Now you could add it straight on top of the heatsink like this, and you just need to attach it with zip ties if you like, or if you've got elastic bands that you feel are strong enough, you can use them. But I know that this fan actually spins fairly fast and can cause some noise and some vibration if it moves against the heatsink. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some, basically what you'd find on a high-end air heatsink, those little rubber notches between the fan and the actual fins. We're going to create something like that just to dampen any vibration noise. So here I've got a standard block of foam. You know, you'll see something like this in a box that will come with your TV or an appliance. You know, some of that packing foam that's found around a heatsink, for instance, like a Thermalright heatsink will be packed with that so it can survive any shipping mishaps. So what we do is we cut 4 little slices of this heatsink foam, and we're going to put them between the fan and the heatsink. So here are 4 that I have prepared earlier. And here are the 4 little bits of foam that we're going to use between our heatsink and fan, and I'm just going to put them in place now. So we want one on each edge of where the square fan will sit. So like that. Now these two can't be too low because they're actually, you don't want them to run into the bottom of the card. So we want something that looks like that. So now let's attach the fan to the heatsink. I'm going to use 2 tough little elastic bands. Now this admittedly isn't the smartest plan because they could degrade over time. So you're probably better off with something like zip ties or something of a plastic variety rather than rubber. So let's attach the heatsink and fan. We've just attached our elastic bands, as you can see, and they run over the top of the fan, underneath the heatsink, and then our heatsink is actually only attached to the GPU on this area of the card, and then it floats high above other onboard surface mount components. And so we go underneath and to the left of and the right of the part where contact is made between the GPU and the heatsink. So we go underneath there and then come back over. So that keeps our fan strapped down to the heatsink nicely. As you'll see though, you don't want these elastic bands in front of your airflow. So we're going to pull those to the side and just put them over and out of the way. Just like that. So there is our newly fanned up 9600 GT. This fan runs from a Molex connector, as you'd expect. So that means you'll have to power that separately. It's not actually running off the onboard header just there. Now the onboard header also isn't giving power to a fan, so it's not going to sense the RPM. But for this particular card, we found that that doesn't matter. It doesn't stop the card actually powering up and posting. So there you have it. We now have a nicely cooled 9600 GT. Thanks for watching.